Okay, folks, let's get this show on the road. Fife Property Market Update, the 11th of February to yesterday, the 17th of February. This is right across the whole Fife Property Market, telling you exactly what's going on and the reasons why the market is like it is in Fife just now, right across to Scotland as well. And we might actually touch on the UK statistics as well, because we did do a show during the week. I did a show during the week about the UK House Price Index for Scotland and also for Fife itself to tell you how resilient it is. How resilient is the market? Are we in a hot sellers market, a sellers market, a balanced market, a buyer's market, a hot buyer's market? Who knows? But I did do a show during the week about that, and I'll talk about that a wee bit more on this show. So bear with me, hold tight, and let's get on with the show. Let me just do a bit of housekeeping just now and get this up for you. So, numbers right across Fife. Here we go. This is actually quite interesting, because we can see in Cooper, reversal of fortune. 8 properties came on with all the estate agents in the Cooper area listing, and 10 properties actually sold. East Neuk 5 versus 9 sold in the East Neuk area, and only 5 came to market. St Andrews 7 versus 7, Leavenworth 9 versus 9, Dunfermline 52 versus 54, Glenorchy 12 versus 13. The only one to actually be the other way around is Kirkcaldy. 36 came on, 24 sold, but that was way beyond the other way for the last couple of weeks, so it was the other way around. So 129 property come to market last week, 126 sold. So I think we can safely say at this point in time, as we come through the February period, the market's looking pretty good. And so why is that? Why is the market looking pretty good? What is going on in the Fife property market right now? Well, I did during the week the UK House Price Index, and I talked about that a wee bit. UK House Price Index, it actually came out for December 23. The headline statistics on here was basically that the housing market is actually quite buoyant just now. The average UK house price in Scotland is £190,341, up 3.3% year on year. In Fife, it is 173,538, up 1.4% year on year. So things are looking good. Things are looking good overall. We can see detached properties actually still going up significantly more than terraced and semi-detached properties. But coming up now from the last position is the flats and maisonettes, which are into third place now and actually pushed terrace properties, terrace houses down to bottom place on the league table. Why is that? Because I have a feeling it's more affordable for people to buy a flat now, especially a ground floor for one level living, and it's more affordable in terms of running costs as well. Overall. Although we all want a front and back garden, but some of the flats, for example, the one I put in Lawrence Drive a couple of days ago, 3 bedroom lower flat, around about the 80,000 price mark. And I was thinking, that's pretty good. I'd be in there straight away, especially with a south facing back garden and a front garden as well. So there's great opportunities out there for properties. Some are going very well. I'll talk about that in a minute, what properties have actually gone very well and why they're going well. But the economic statement from the UK house prices, in other words, the government statistical department, average prices in Scotland 3.3%, 12 months to December, up 1.1% from the 12 months in November 2023. And the average in the UK house price inflation is actually UK house price inflation, remember, is negative 1.4% to the 12 months. So England's not faring as well as the Scottish market, put it that way. Sales volumes wise, which is the health of the Fife property market and the health of the UK property market and Scottish property market, Welsh property market and Northern Ireland property market, suggests that transactional numbers have actually dropped, and that is where the health of the property market is overall. So transactional numbers, according to the statistics, are down year on year in Scotland, for example. They're down round about 13.7% down. So in other words, if there was 1,000 properties sold, there would be roughly 870 actually sold now, year on year, instead of 1,000 from the previous year. So that's why it's down 13.7%. And right across the UK, it's 26.7% down. there's going to be a bit of a turmoil there. It's not to do with house prices, remember, it's everything to do with transactional numbers. Because remember what I said before, if the housing market is 25% down, that's quarter. That means 10,000 properties maybe sold last year, only 7,500 are selling this year. And therefore, that means 2,500 times 15, because it's an average 15. That means there's a loss of 37 million to the local economies on the small businesses and that as well. That's going to have a knock-on effect because if sales drop, headcount suffers as a result. Unemployment, however, actually came down from 3.9 to 3.8%. And so that's actually pretty good as well. So unemployment's faring quite very well. So there's still a good area there, although we can see some transactional numbers coming in where, some companies are actually beginning to shed some jobs, but not dramatically. So I don't think it's anything to worry about just now, but it's one to watch because remember, the property market is a key indicator and transaction numbers drop. Therefore, we're needing less people to do refurbs. We're needing less people to do the legal work. We're needing less people to do mortgages. Therefore, why would they need these people anymore? So that could end up coming through in the next 6 months, and unemployment could actually start to move up. It could be a good thing though, because unemployment is historically low. What does that mean for where you are right now if you're considering put your house on the market or if you're currently on the market right now? Well, we're moving from a seller's market into a balanced market. Now, a seller's market means you're going to get a bit over the home report. You should be expecting that. Not necessarily if you're higher price point, if you're beyond 250 to 300,000 and beyond, you probably will be getting around the home report value or maybe just over or just under. But when you go into a balanced market, you're more or less probably going to get the home report value as well. So if you're holding out on the hope and fingers crossed that you're going to get, after a long period of time, a higher price point or a higher offer, because the market's moving into a balanced market, that might not be the case, especially transaction numbers coming down as well. Okay, because that means there's less properties, there's less people selling their property, so less people looking to buy their property as well. Right across the UK, 25% down. People that sell a property going to buy a property. 81% of them do. 19% is deceased estates and people move out the area. Okay, so that's the house price index and a wee bit insight into the property market as well. Let me just talk about landlords. If you're a landlord, Richard and I did a show yesterday, actually, damage, wear or tear, which counts as which and what can you claim back. I came on as a landlord because I'm a landlord by trade. And I came on from that point of view and saying, arguing the case about, what is damage and what is wear and tear. Karen and Richard were on as well, from a letting agent point of view, answering my questions. I was a bit determined to get the right answers, and you'll be able to watch that or listen to that podcast in this if you want later on. If you're a landlord or investor, it's a really good podcast. Actually, a lot of people came on and said it was really informative. Just quickly, I'm going to jump on before I go into the properties coming to market. And before I go to the properties sold as well, listen out for these. I'm just getting to these now. Again, if you're a landlord, future of buy-to-let in 2024, we talked about that, Richard and I, during a midweek show, the future of the Fife buy-to-let market, but the future of the Scottish UK market and UK market for buy-to-let. Where is it going to go in 2024, and where is it going to go in the future? I know where it's going to go. And I talked about it in the show, and Richard discussed it as well with me, and the future of the buy-to-let market overall, where we are. We're sitting, just to give you an indication, the private rented sector. Private rented sector is actually bigger than the social rented sector. We are a bigger landlord than the council and the whole housing associations are. And it sounds like it's disproportionately wrong because we don't have as much clout, apparently. And so that's a disparity in the system. It needs to be corrected. Also, there's more homeowner occupiers, in other words, no mortgage, than there is actually owner occupiers with a mortgage. I've just put a post on here, actually, not in this post, but earlier on today, showing you these statistics. So if you want to have a wee look back some of the posts, you're more than happy to do that. What's coming to market and what's sold? So let's talk about what's sold this week. And the reason why I talk about that is because it'll give you a good indication about where we are right now for certain property prices and how well they're actually going in certain areas. Okay, here we are. Is this is St Iles, St Iles. So St Iles actually sold in 4 weeks. But what you don't know about St Iles, this was a four-bedroom ground floor apartment. And actually, it was listed at offers over 250,000. It needed a bit of work done on it. But what you don't know about this is it went to a closing date on Friday and it's gone. There's more people looking for the top property types like these in the East Neuk area. So if you've got a property type like that and it needs a bit of work done on it, that's round about the price point for a four-bedroom lower apartment. Right across there, as you can see, you're getting, and it's got a garden as well at the back, you're getting in the area offers over 250,000. That's where they're going for. And this one, as I said, went to a closing date. So closing dates are actually still there. And a lot of people actually think they're not there anymore, but closing dates for the right properties are actually there, especially if they're as popular as this one. Next one. This was Wellshot Road in Kennoway. I actually did a pre-portal on that and a personal property tour, and that sold in 3 weeks in the Kennoway area. And that was listed, that was a three-bedroom semi-detached house, and it was listed at offers over 150,000 in Wellshot Road in Kennoway, sold in 3 weeks. Again, another popular type of property style and a great price point as well. But you notice the price point is 250, 150,000, and the next one as well is Denville Gardens in Kennoway. That sold in 3 days. Yep, 3 days. For the right types of properties, they're still going within a good period of time. If your property's sitting on the market for quite a while, it's possible that maybe the price point is possibly needing reviewed for that reason. Now, you can bring the price point down, but often you can sometimes push the price point back up because you introduce it to a new price point audience. And what I mean by that is if you're sitting at 250,000, everybody at 250,000 and over is looking at it, everybody up to 250,000 looking at it. And it might not be going for that level, and people might not be interested in that level. But if you drop it down to about 240, and then the audience up to 240,000 catches it because they're only searching at 240,000, they might be actually interested in it, and they might go, "Oh, I actually quite like that." And then once they get through the door and see it, then it's possible when they see the home report at 250,000 that they'll go, "Yeah, okay, I'll pay the home report value." So that's how you get that audience through the door, and then you push them back up to the actual original home report value in the first place. Possibly push them a wee bit more. We've done that already before quite often. We've got a good track record for that. So that then again gives you a good indication about where we are. But you notice actually, your 3 days, your 3 weeks, your 4 weeks, they're all round about the 250,000 price point and downwards. As I said before, these types of properties are selling extremely well. These types of properties, the price points are right. The affordability is right as well. You've got a lot more people can afford that level and can afford a mortgage at that level, where the buying power for mortgages, because mortgage rates have gone up in the last year, has actually reduced because somebody that could have got a £200,000 mortgage last year for the same amount of money every single month is probably only able to get 150,000, maybe 140,000 mortgage this year. That's why it's all about affordability and your buyers dwindling at the top end of the market because of the mortgage situation. Plus, the fact is, now all that money is getting put into the system. Inflation is starting to eat it all up. From lockdown, there was 180 billion in cash reserves in people's household budgets, according to the government. And after lockdown, therefore, now that's all getting eaten away because inflation, and that's all taking it in. And all these, everybody's been doing what they need to do and refurbishing their houses and buying new houses, making offers more than what they should have been making, paying a lot more for a property. Now that's all starting to get eaten up. There's less chance that that'll actually you'll be able to get an offer you can't refuse. It's a lot less than what it was a year ago and even a year before that. And we can tell that because the numbers are actually coming through now, and the slowdown of the house prices going up and transactional numbers dropping as well, because people are they're a bit more cautious about buying and selling. They're staying put because they're not very sure about what's going on in terms of the UK economy. If you saw the news lately, they're trying to make out again that we're in recession. Technically, we're in recession because it's the first quarter was 0.1 of a reduction and the second quarter was 0.3 of a reduction. And it's like, it's not exactly the doom and gloom that they're trying to point out, but the traditional recession headline in the newspaper gives that impression to people, and then they become fearful and then they become cautious as a result of that. So that's something to bear in mind. Once that flows through and once we get a bit more stability again, and then that should all take off again. So there's a wee bit of caution there. Everybody stopped in their tracks, kind of maybe for the next couple of months. That'll be where they are, and then they'll go, okay, everything looks stable again. Let's get buying again. It's just the news trying to get headlines saying it's recession. I've seen big recessions where where growth has dropped significantly, and point 0.1 and point 0.3 is not anything to be really majorly concerned about. Inflation's still stable at 4%. Base rates, I don't think, could be coming down anytime soon. Mortgage rates are actually a good price point just now. You're getting 5-year fixed rate deals around about the 4.5% level, which is pretty good. But base rates need to come down, but they'll not traditionally come down until they get inflation under control. Okay, let's talk about what's coming soon in the property market. Coronation Crescent in Leven. I will be doing a pre-portal this week, more than likely for that. 3-bedroom semi-detached house. Watch out for that one. Coronation Crescent, just round the corner from Launch Drive. I did just a couple of days ago. So 3-bedroom semi-detached house. Again, it will be popular. Coronation Crescent in Leven, just across from the traffic lights. The Windygates traffic lights, where you go to Leven, you go to the Lethem Glen area, you go down to the Sainsbury, cross, you go up to the Kenway, or you go back along to DCL on the A915. That's where it is. It's just across from there, but it's set back from the road. It's not on the road, so it's a good location. Coronation Crescent and Leven's are really, really good. Laburnum Road in Methil, 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow like hen's teeth. If you're looking for a 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow in the Methil area, Laburnum Road, 3-bedroom, I've got a funny feeling that could be one on the raised areas, elevated plot. So probably try and get your details to us quicker, so you know about it sooner, possibly before it even goes on social media. Crail Road in Anstruther, 2-bedroom end terrace house. I just did that. That was Ainster House, and that was a fantastic wee end terraced 2-bedroom townhouse. I've just done a pre-portal on that this week. Offers over 250,000. That's a really good one, so be quick with that. Fairfield Road in Collinsborough. Sophie did a pre-portal during the week on that. 3-bedroom semi-detached house. Launch Drive, I've done that already. 3-bedroom ground floor apartment. Coldstream Park in Leven, 4-bedroom detached house, is about to hit the websites on Monday. That's a beauty. By the way, so if you're wanting to see the walkthrough in the pre-portal, you need to look back on the Leven page. The last 2 or 3 days I actually did that. Blank Bonnie Farm Cottage, Newborough, 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow is coming on. Dewars Building, Leven, 2-bedroom first floor apartment coming on. Main Street in Strathkinnis, 4-bedroom detached house. I've been out to that. Wonderful views over the countryside. Uninterrupted. Nobody's going to build in front of you because it's just a field in front of you, so it's ideal. And the front actually sits south, so it sits in the sun all the time. It's a great location, and it's set back from the road. I know we talk about Main Street in Strathkinnis, and Main Street's straight on the road, but this actually, you have to go through the drive to get into the property, so it's actually really far in. So you're actually so it's actually nice and peaceful and quiet. Back Park Kettle Bridge, 4-bedroom detached house will be coming on. I was out to that and I've just signed it up, so that's coming soon. Watch out for that one. Again, another one. It's got beautiful views over the countryside, over the fields towards the east and west Lomond Hills. Great location. It's even got I would call it a wine cellar actually, out the back, and I will show you that in the pre-portal. But if you're interested in these properties, message us direct and ask about the particular property and just say, get me on your list now, because when we get more details on that, we can send them to you before it gets on our website, and therefore you can be first in there before everybody else. Main Street in Collinsborough is another one, 4-bedroom terraced house. Actually, Main Street in Collinsborough has always got the challenge, everybody says, about parking at the front. But this one's actually got a premium area at the back. You can just park and you just walk down the path into your back garden and into your house. So it's ideal for there as well. And these are the ones coming to market. Now, let me talk just quickly about what's completed. So why do I talk about completed? And what is actually completed in terms of homes? Completed is actually, you know how we have sold in the week? Well, that's subject to concluded missive. In other words, we've had a deal struck. It's going to go through conveyancing, so you have to subject to concluded missives. But completed is actually keys handed over, so we can actually tell you what they went for now, and give you an indication about where the market is in terms of price point. So the crib St Monans was a 2-bedroom detached house. It was actually a really good one, and it got a beautiful side garden, and it had a lot of history behind it. It was a Grade B listing actually, and it sold in 2 months, but it actually sold just for the home report value, 325,000. So that just kind of shows you round about where that price point is. Incidentally, the original owner was way below that when I asked him what the valuation was. I went, no, 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 it's it's nowhere you're thinking. It's where I'm thinking, and it was 325,000, and it went for 325,000. So it just shows you about getting the right advice. Imagine if that person had done a private sale. I'll tell you how much he would have lost if he'd done a private sale. Probably £125,000, because he thought it was worth 200,000, and I said, I'll give you the money now. But we put it on the market. We made sure he got the right price, and he got another 125,000 more than what he expected. So 325,000. It went for the right price this time. 4th Street in St Monans, 3-bedroom terraced townhouse. This actually sold in a week for 16% over the home report value, and that represented £50,000 extra to the seller. Isn't that great? It was a perfect seaside home for people actually moving in the area from the West Coast as their new home to relocate to from the West Coast. Everybody from the West Coast always wants to come and live on the East Coast and retire here. It's far better weather, far better climate, and a far more enjoyable area. You just pop down the beach every day. You don't get that in Glasgow if you're sitting in city centre. You just go out and you've got all the hustle and bustle of life, and then you've got all the rain possibly because you're on the west coast, the Atlantic, and you get all the elements coming in. So the microclimates are different in these areas, and that's why the east coast is actually very favourable as a location for a lot of people on the west coast. So 50,000 more to the seller. Who would want another 50,000 more? And it represented 16% more over the home report value, and it finally went for £390,000. Elm Grove and St Monans actually settled as well. 4-bedroom semi-detached house sold in 3 weeks for 22% over the home report value. It represented another £55,000 to our seller. See these numbers? Not all estate agents are the same. Not all estate agents can get these offers and can get these deals done. It's all about digital marketing, proper strategy, retargeting strategy, and also negotiation at the end with the right people and the right circumstances. That's what it's down to. That's what makes the fundamental difference. So yeah, these are all gone. It went for 280,000 for a 4-bedroom semi-detached house, and that was on Elm Grove and St Monans. As I said, 22% of the home report value. Gives a real good indication because all the ones completed this week were actually in the St Monans area. One went for home report value, one went for 16% over, which represented 50 grand more, and one went for 22%, which represented 55,000 more. So it just shows you what you can possibly achieve in an area. Okay. Finally, let's just finish off. Here we go. Wealth creation show tomorrow. I won't be on the Wealth Creation Show. I've got something else on, but Richard will be hosting the Wealth Creation Show tomorrow, and he will be talking about the 5 keys to rise in 2024. Why do we talk about this in the Wealth Creation Show? What has the Wealth Creation Show got to do with property? It's a good question. Property is a big strategy of mine. Most people don't realise, or maybe some people do, that this week I bought another 30 properties from an existing landlord. So saved all these tenancies because he was going to make everybody, he was going to evict everybody and sell them in the open market. And I bought them from him, and I actually retained these 30 tenancies for the people. So 30 families were not displaced as a result. And as a result of that, it's a good strategy for me as well. The numbers made absolute sense for me. I will talk about the property chart at the end of this month. We have a property chart, Richard, Karen and myself, and it'll be in Mark Inch. It's at 6 o'clock on the last Thursday of every month at the Fig Tree, but you need to get an invite to that. Thank you, Mark, for the congratulations. And I'm going to talk about how I managed to do that because I actually didn't put any money down at all to buy these 30 properties. How on earth is that possible? How do you do that? And I will talk about that in private. I won't talk about that in a public forum, but I will talk about that in a private group. So that's why we have the property chart. The property chart is the great thing. What I love about it is a no pitch event. In other words, we're not pitching anything to anybody. It's just people getting round and having a chat to each other, networking with each other. People that are actually wanting to invest in property, people that are potentially looking to invest in property, people that are in property right now, whether they've just started your journey, whether you're halfway through your journey, or whether you're a long-term person as well, like me, because I've been in it for 30 years buying property, and actually making sure I look after it all the time and making sure I look after my tenants. Hence the reason I've got a good knowledge and insight into that. But it's all about building wealth as well. So one of the things that Richard will talk about tomorrow on the Wealth Creation Show at 12:30 is the 5 keys to rise in 2024. So the one thing I could ask you is, so what's your strategy to get out of fear and rise to actually new heights in 2024? You know, what's holding you back? Have you had if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? What would you do? So why are you not doing it then? If you knew you couldn't fail, why are you not doing it? And why are you not thinking bigger? Because whatever you've thought to yourself right now, if you knew you couldn't fail, you could have thought bigger. And what's got you in that mindset? Why do you actually think like that? Why did you actually think a lot smaller? And the only reason I know that is because I used to be there. When I was asked to, 35 years ago, if you could drive any car in the world and you could have any car for free and it could be yours, what would you have, Jim? And I went a Rover Tomcat 220. And it's like, a Rover Tomcat? Why? Why would you look at a Lamborghini or a Bugatti Veyron? It's like, because I didn't have that type of thinking. My thinking was very limited at that time. I didn't. There was a glass ceiling on the way I thought about myself and the way I thought how much my worth was really and what my value was. And this is why we do the Wealth Creation Show, to actually help people break out of that mindset. So what I would say is, you look forward to it and look ahead in the next 12 months. One thing's clear: we're actually living in uncharted territory. There's no way. Interest rates have been high, unemployment's been low, inflation's been at 4%, and we're looking pretty good just now. But that dynamic has never existed before. We've never gone through a boom where inflation's been historically low and interest rates were low as well. That's never happened as well. And you're seeing the ramifications for it now. But where's rental valuations going as well? Have they peaked? Are they coming down? These are things we talk about in the Wealth Creation Show. We're in a time when the economic, political, and social landscapes are changing at a record pace. So what's your strategy to get out of fear and rise to new heights in 2024? Well, you don't need to head back to school because, Richard's going to discuss it tomorrow with you. So listen out for that. Wealth Creation Show, 12:30. It's a really good show. It'll give you a really good insight. And if you're looking to get the other shows, because we're on episode 110. Yes, there's 109 other episodes. We talk about that. And I discuss every single strategy that I've used over these 109 episodes. Literally, you've got a masterclass, or I would say a degree in property investment, probably more, a master's degree, or maybe a professor's degree in property investment in these 109 shows that we've done so far. If you listen to them and use that information and plug in that information, you will be wealthy in some shape or form, whether it's in property or something else. You will be wealthy, whether it's in your career, whether it's in your normal life, whether it's in your day-to-day, whatever it is. And I don't mean wealth as in money. I just mean wealth as in overall. So I love to push the Wealth Creation Show because it's a personal project for myself. It's a personal project for Richard, and we definitely need to share that with the rest of the world as a result. So you'll be able to get more information on here. If you click on the link to any of these shows that we've done before during the week and the Wealth Creation Show, you can click on the link above or below here, and then it takes you through. It gives you a list of all the shows we did during the week. You can click on that link, and then you'll get into the YouTube channel as well if it's the Wealth Creation Show back episodes you're looking for. Listen to the podcast anytime you want. That's what I do every single day. Become a student of life. That's what it is. Every day is a learning day. It's another opportunity to learn more. Imagine over 365 days if you just got 1% better every single day. That's a 365% improvement in a year. But it's not. It's more than that because it compounds every single day. Imagine that. Where would you be in a year's time? Where would you be in 2 years' time? Where would you be in 5 years' time? You wouldn't believe where you're going to be if you just plug yourself into that system and learn more and more and more. Anyway, that's enough from me. I talk too much. I get excited and I get wired and fired about it. Again, as I said, more information on the post. Listen back if you missed out on the properties that we're actually talking about coming to market this week, and message us direct on this post if you're interested in any one of these properties. It's a great insight into the property market over Fife. And until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV. Bye bye for now.